some god right now was like, which ones are yours? And I was like, I'm only looking for the husbands that were just all mine by the end. So the only husbands I have were all mine by the end. And this god was like, did you know that the United States and Dubai just stalk you, mistreat you, and get everybody to gawk at you, and mostly turn women really evil and gross and full of themselves. And they like men to turn really evil, gross, and full of themselves. And they just really cultivate a world that hates you and dies with them. And I was like, well, then that sounds like that's going good. I would only look for the ones that were pure good boys that just wanted to always end up just with me. Then I wouldn't have cared about anything else anyway, not in my personal space. It would have just been the boys that always loved and wanted just to be with me. That would be my personal space, and then the children got stuff from farther out. So, it doesn't really matter. They could win it almost anything, because it just means God doesn't really want to win it anyway. And the God was like, do you have any idea how much everything lives against you? And I was like, is that really the point in winning? And the God was like, you look really stupid when people can shove something gross up your ass. And that's why the world just won't stop fuck you all laughing. Deep down, they know what's happening to you. Those trackers, everybody talks through the trackers. Like you're just a boo, fuck you all day. And I said, well, like Noah's Ark and Sodom and Gomorrah, I guess that's the fun and the funniness of it. Till it's their turn. And the God's like, but you look so fucking stupid. You look like such a fucking nothing. And you walk around like it doesn't mean anything. And I said, well, if you know they have to die forever, does it really mean anything? And the God was like, yeah, if they're degrading you and murdering you and mistreating you. And I was like, well, all these things are hearsay. But if they die for all of it once again, it was worth it. But I'm just gonna believe it was like 20 years ago. But if something that sickening and gross and bad was happening 20 years ago and they have to die, never ending for all of it, does it really matter how stupid I look? And the God was like, yes, it will forever matter how fucking stupid you look. Because you look stupid, and these human nobodies look like they can murder you, they can have all the money, they can do whatever the fuck they want to you, and you just sit and rot in a corner like a big fucking nothing. And I thought, wow. I don't see the way you see it all. And the God was like, how could you not fucking see the way I see it? And I said, in my viewpoint, in my brain, what I see is when you can treat me less than the least trash ever. All I see is a future where you have to be worse and least and beyond beneath trash forever. So you might say, how could you allow that angel to get shit shoved up their eyes? But I'd say, if that angel is still stuck in that nightmare for even 5 minutes more, shove extra shit up their eyes. Because now you get to do the most sickening, disturbing, grossest shit to everybody else. Because it happened to an angel. And I told him, this is the reality, people. I was always going to be a nothing until I was everything. I was always going to sit and forever be nothing until I was everything. I was always going to start murdered in an embryo or whatever the hell they dished out and be nothing until I was everything. So if they can get near you to do anything gross to you for even a second, then you're stuck in something anyway. And all you have as a god or an angel or something is how much you can stew and stew forever. And the fact that angels and gods live forever, and at least all you get, but it's better than nothing, is to stew, think about what they've done to you, and do the worst shit you can ever do to them forever. I mean, they're sitting there talking to me like I'm such degraded crap, and it's like, how the hell would I not already notice that? How the hell would I already not know that? You sit and say, one day I'll be taking all of this out on all of you forever. And I never have to give a shit for 1 second, ever. And that's all you get, because that's why they call it sacrificing. And that God looked at me and said, if anyone had to sacrifice until it was so degrading and gross and abusive like you, gods would never ever sacrifice. Children of gods would never sacrifice. Nobody would ever sacrifice. And I was like, yeah, that is the point. I'm the greatest mother who became the greatest fuck you nothing. And all I get in the end is that they have to die more than anything I could ever comprehend. But yeah, I get it. You're a bunch of gods, and you'd never become a savior if everything depended on you winning against bad once and for all by yourself. So ha ha, boo, and fuck you, because now you all have to save yourselves, and you don't even fucking understand what these people have brought upon everybody. And the God looked at me like, what do I need to care whether I become a savior or some God is ever a savior? Exactly, go figure it out, and nobody gives a shit. But the funniest thing ever known. Okay, so this is what really happened, and I think this is gonna be fun because children of God are gonna get into this kind of hilarious level shit. So I had to win against all enemies, so I had to be treated like less than nothing and no value and no power, and win against everything all by myself. So I became that kind of an ultimate savior, right? But all they did was shit against me. So, okay, I become this ultimate savior by living in the most disgusting, degraded shit ever known and winning in everything. When I live in the most degraded, disgusting shit ever known and win, I'm supposed to be a God savior, but it's not relevant anymore because people had done stuff against me. The only way people could qualify for me to be their savior is if they've never done anything against me. Bam, right there is no savior possibility. So the funny joke is on them. I went through this degraded, trash, dead shit, and I can't save them. So they have to go through worse, dead, degraded, trash shit than I ever did to try to figure out how to save themselves. You know, somebody should have woke people up, but they're never gonna wake up, and it's kind of fun and funny. All these gods think it's just some kind of freebie. All these gods think everything's just some kind of joke. And it's like, no, I've had to work against my own creations the since ever till ever. For the ultimate victory, I've been fighting since I created those fucking things in the first place. And realized how much they can fuck everybody and me over. And decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go through it all to figure it out once and for all. But the more I got treated like dead, degraded crap, the more no God is gonna make it without being overly dead, degraded crap beyond anything I've been through. And it's like, you guys are so stupid because now you guys are stuck in worse shit than me. But some gods sit in death forever, believing they're gonna get out or be saviors or save something, and they never ever have anything but death and believing shit all the time. So gods die. Gods need hospitals but can't get that kind of help. And gods die forever believing a bunch of shit that's not even real. All kinds of monumental bad shit that comes upon everyone because they wouldn't just goddamn pay attention to my existence and what day it was. You're like, well, way to laugh, abuse my existence. Whatever. But anyway, the fun part is that I'm at the end. I already knew people die within seconds. And today is my big day where people have to die before they even think of things against me. So all I have to do is wait for the actual death overloads to show up. Then I'm done. So I mean, I get it. Every last second they could do something gross or bad to me, they were going to. That's bad people and bad things. And I get it. This is not an existence that's worth it for anything or anyone to go through. Ever, forever. But think about what I'm saying. Only one thing could become zero and win from zero against everything. Think about what I'm saying. I had to become nothing and win against everything. And now, how are they gonna do it? They're not even gonna fucking know how. I've had to do the weirdest things. I've had to do what evil god enemies tell me to do when it's beyond impossible to get out. And I still had to figure out how to get out, or I'd never have a future. One of the scariest things I ever found out one of the scariest things I learned after I created my children, the gods, is how smart they are at leaving you fucked and stuck. So I did all these big, impossible, horrifying things to get out. And the funny thing is, every time people talk, they're fucked and stuck forever. And I don't even have to give a shit. I just had to get to where they die. So I had to get to where their death is unsurvivably, unlimitedly unthinkable before they even think about anything in my direction. So I just had to make it where they have to die until it's never ending and unthinkable and unlimited before they ever even think in my direction or even look in my direction or all the things you wouldn't want. So I just had to make sure they died and died and died before they can ever get near me forever. Then the problem's solved. And you're like, but what if they act nice? Yeah, it's on autopilot to just shove them wherever the hell they belong. And just shove them right away wherever the hell they earned and deserved. So the sad thing is, when I get up and no one can do anything to me anymore because they're all too dead all the time, then everybody else needed to get up and figure out where they fit in the whole ultimate God, Savior pile or hierarchy. But this is where it never works out. They needed somebody to make sure they were gonna make it. Anything they do against me, I can't be their savior anyway. So now they're stuck needing somebody to save them. And you're like, but what do they need to be saved from? guys have heavens and angels. They needed to be saved from the ultimate ending. What was the ultimate ending? Why did I have to fight against all things I created, or all bad things turn bad ones and wrong? Because my stupid creations had learned how to leave people stuck in a bubble of nothing but bad things, unless somebody can get them out. So like cancer, death, ultimate demise, excessive suffering, everything I created, everything I've always created that turns bad wants never-ending death and never-ending suffering. So I sacrificed myself to save everybody else from never-ending death and never-ending suffering. So while they're laughing at my stupid, overloaded, dumb self and what I've had to do to win, they've lost everything I did so that they wouldn't have to go through everything the miserable, worst, hard, bad way like me. And then they're stuck and fucked, and no one can ever save them. They have to pretend to be their own saviors and all kinds of shit, just forever rot in death trying to figure it out. And that goes with that statement when God said, they will all beg for death, but death will never come. In that wonderful forever reality of an absolution that will never come. It's like, people, you guys were so stupid. It was better to be a nothing body that lives on in massive fucking power forever than to have ever been any of them. But you don't see